Welcome to Malcom Reed's How to Barbecue Right, a podcast where we talk about barbecue, share recipes, and discuss all things delicious. And now, here's your host, Malcom and Chelle Reed.
Hey, welcome back to the How to Barbecue Right Podcast. I'm your host, Malcom Reed, joined by my lovely, talented wife, Miss Southern Chelle, Tyler on the boards. And folks, this is the last one of 23, right?
Last one.
Go.
It's Christmas. Is it Christmas break time? New Year's time?
Yes, it is. I feel like it's been Christmas break time. The rest of the world's just not catching up with me.
Holidays have came on us quick, though.
Yeah.
I feel like it was just Thanksgiving. I mean, like those
I feel like
few
it was
weeks
just Halloween.
go so fast. Like right after Thanksgiving, it's like, bam, it's Christmas. And then New Year's, and you got to get right back into it.
And it's kind of sad because I know it's fixing to be all over. And we're going to take the Christmas decorations down.
They've been up since the 1st of November. It's the second week, or whatever that first weekend was when you.
No, it was the
busted
second
out.
weekend.
Oh, was it second?
Yeah.
It was after we went to the Mississippi State Kentucky game.
Yeah.
That's when Ashley decorates too. So she's like, as soon as Halloween ends, put up the Christmas
I
decorations.
feel like we get our money's worth.
I mean, if I'm going to put that much effort into it, because it's a lot of work to put that up, I'm not going to put it up for 2 weeks. We're going to put it up, enjoy it.
Have you ever like waited till the week of Christmas or like Christmas Eve to trim a tree?
Yeah, I'm sure. In
We
my younger
we always
years.
had ours up. But usually it was after Thanksgiving. I don't remember as a
Yeah,
kid having a Christmas tree before Thanksgiving.
Me either. It was always the weekend after.
Yeah, as an adult, the reason why is because you got so much going on. It's like the week after Thanksgiving, you're not going to feel like doing it because you got to go somewhere, and then you got Christmas parties this next week, and before you know it, you're right here where we are.
Yeah.
If you're slipping now, they've probably already got the totes and stuff out at Walmart. Like they've started clearing out the Christmas section. Hobby Lobby's got the Easter egg stuff out.
So, Malcom, today I wanted to talk to you about your Holly Jolly Tri-Tip bite recipe.
Holly Jolly Tri-Tips. What makes them holly and jolly, you think?
You serve them at a Christmas party.
Yeah, you serve them at a Christmas party. No, I did. It's one of those Wagyu Tri-Tips. You don't have to use the Wagyu Tri-Tip, but
It's probably better if you didn't use the Wagyu Tri-Tip,
I don't know.
really.
The Wagyu Tri-Tip, man, it's hard to beat. But that was what makes it special, extra special. But
And where'd
if
the
you find
Tri-Tip come from?
From the butcher shop, Pensacola, Florida. My buddy Kevin down there. If y'all want to check out what he's got, I'm sure he's got some holiday specials going on. But go to his Facebook page, The Butcher Shop, SHOPPE.
Yeah, Shoppy
Shoppy.
in Pensacola, Florida. If you just Google Butcher Shop, Pensacola, Florida.
I'm sure we
It
probably got a
pops
link
up.
to it somewhere on our stuff. I'm
Yeah.
sure.
Yep.
But yeah, that's where I got the tri-tip, and so the idea was to have like an appetizer. So sometimes during holiday parties, you don't always do sit down type meals. It's like
No.
folks hanging out, having a good time, maybe having some libations, and then you want some little finger type food. So I was like, what could you do that was kind of fancy or kind of special
Yeah.
with but make it still holiday party food? And so that's how I got the idea to do those little crostini bites. And all it is you get like a French baguette, and sometimes you can find them already sliced up and toasted in your little deli section or the bread section of your supermarket. But we didn't. The ones we found, it was just a long baguette. Cut it up and sliced it. And did you brush it with a little butter or olive oil that day?
I think
I've used both.
you know what I like to do for toasting bread is that spritz butter. I know it's not really butter.
Yeah.
It's like an old butter, margarine style, but it works really, really good because it gets you a nice little even coat of an oil on top of your bread to toast.
Because see, sometimes when I drizzle olive oil on it, it's not even.
Yeah.
And then it gets soggy in places you get heavy, and some of it don't
Exactly.
get any. So the little spray stuff makes sense to me.
Or if I don't have the spray stuff, I'll dip a little brush and
Just
melted
lightly brush it.
butter or oil and lightly brush it.
But all you do is toast those under broil in the oven.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the easiest way to do it.
Be careful.
Yeah.
You can burn
They will
'em.
burn up quick, and you don't want to get them you want them not soggy. Like you got to get them toasted. That's what gives them kind of a little crunchiness. Because if you don't get them done enough, or on one side they're not really toasted, it's a little
kinda
chewy.
chewy, yeah.
But I like them where it's like a little crunchy bite almost. Not like crouton.
I was thinking, say you can take them too far.
Yeah, you can take them to crouton stage, but don't take them that far. But
It's almost like a little Goldilocks spot you got to hit with that
that's
bread.
right. And then I took boars and cheese, which you've never tried boars and cheese. It's like a fancy cream cheese, the best way to put it. It's real spreadable. It comes in this little full pouch when you buy it at the supermarket, and they have different ones. The ones I got was like the herb and garlic, I think.
Yeah, it is delicious.
It's so good. It's good on a cracker by itself.
What do you think about putting that on like a baked potato?
I bet it would be really good. It'd be kind of like a sour cream element, sour cream and cheese all in one. I don't see why it'd be bad.
Oh, I'm gonna try that next.
But that was the foundation. So you spread that on the little baguette, and then take that medium rare tri-tip. And a lot of times those tri-tip slices are so big that you can cut them into like thirds. Because you just wanted a piece of meat to cover the cheese and the baguette. You don't want a big whole slice on it. And then I topped it with a little Christmas chimichurri that I made. And all it is it's like a chimichurri rojo where you use a red pepper element inside with the cilantro and the parsley.
And it just gives it that red.
Yeah, it just gives it a little
red and green,
a little festive green and red holiday look to it.
So how'd you cook your tri-tip?
I did a reverse sear on a Weber grill. So started with like a 2-zone fire. Got me some good coals.
What'd you season it with? Let's back it up.
Oh,
Did you
super easy.
Do you trim your tri-tips?
Yes, I do. I like when I get them, and if they got a big fat cap on bottom, I'm gonna take it down. I don't mind some fat on it, but if it's I'm gonna take off any silver skin. But most of the time, these ones that come from Kevin are are trimmed pretty well,
Yeah.
so you don't have to do a whole lot to them. But I have gotten tri-tips where you gotta take off a lot of that silver skin and a lot of that fat that won't render. It's a different type fat. It's not that soft, flaky white fat. It's like a thicker, slimier fat. You got to get all that off of it. But if you leave just a little bit of fat, man, it's like brisket. It's good. It kind of melts a little bit, gives it some flavor. But all I did was take a little Worcestershire binder. You could use whatever you wanted to, just to help it give it a little color, a little flavor, and a little stickiness. Then I seasoned it with some of the hot barbecue rub, and then I'll come back over the top with some TX just to give it some like crunch to it, a little texture. Because all that is coarse salts and coarse black peppers. And so it had this nice little texture on the outside. I got my 2-zone fire going on the Weber kettle, and I seared it pretty much on all sides. And it only takes a few minutes, and you kind of flip it and let it go a couple minutes. But I really want to get that crust going, that tri-tip bark. And once I get it like that, I just take a probe in it and move it over to the cool side of the Weber and let it roll until it comes up to about, I like stopping it at 125 because it'll carry over about 5 to 7 degrees, and that's going to be right in that medium rare range. And to me, that's perfect. That's perfect for tri-tip. Then you just rest it a little bit, at least 10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes. But
I say at least 45.
Yeah, it won't hurt you. Because, now this dish is also meant to be served at room temp. So, I love room temp mid-rare beef.
Mm-hmm.
Really, really good. And so you can slice it kind of thin if you want to. You can kind of get it however thickness you want. I usually, kind of on the thinner side, not shaved or anything, but just a nice slice. And then split those slices up enough to fit on that baguette and top it with some of that chimichurri. Now, you do want to make that chimichurri several hours in advance. It needs to kind of, even the day before will work for it. It just needs to come together and soften up those herbs that you put in there. And I usually start with like a bunch of cilantro and a bunch of flat leaf parsley. Chop those up pretty fine. I like putting a little shallot in it, a little garlic, and then it's I just use red bell pepper, diced up real fine to give it that red element, and then hit it with some olive oil, some red wine vinegar, a little bit of salt and pepper to season it a little bit, and then squeeze a little bit of citrus in it, like some lemon, and maybe a little zest if you want to, but you don't have to zest it. That's a simple chimichurri, and it goes great with that beef, and it gives it that kind of Christmassy look.
It looks like a really fancy appetizer. Mm-hmm. And really, if you toasted your bread ahead of time and you did your chimichurri ahead of time, it's really a quick assembly.
It's super fast assembly. You can even cook that tri-tip and hold it for a couple hours in a dry cooler. It'd be fine. I wouldn't slice it until when you were getting ready to, but it's going to make a lot. You think like a tri-tip usually average about 3 pounds, but when you slice that up and you start breaking those slices down to go on a baguette, you're going to do 3 baguettes worth easy.
Yeah.
So you'll probably run out of boars and cheese and chimichurri before you would tri-tip doing it that way.
Go ahead and have plenty of that boars and cheese.
Yeah, get you 2 or 3 of them. It only takes a little schmear too. It don't take a whole lot. It ain't like you're cutting the block in force and put a whole that much on it.
It's delicious.
It's just your little cheesy glue, basically.
It's delicious. Those elements together are just
they go.
Because I feel like the chimichurri kind of balances out the creamy richness of the boars and cheese and the meat. What if you don't have tri-tip? What if you can't get your hands on a tri-tip?
Oh yeah, you could substitute pretty much any cut of beef you wanted to, just something that you keep on that medium rare. Heck, you could use a ribeye steak if you wanted to, or sirloin makes a great choice. If you can find the flat iron's a great choice.
Yeah.
Denver steaks, hanger steaks, anything that you slice, even skirt steak would work. You just want a nice little strip of it and kind of season it, but keep those seasonings simple. You just need a little of that hot rub and a little salt and pepper to really give it a nice crust.
If you were going to do like a skirt or a flat iron, would you marinate it?
You don't have to. You could. You could do like a dry brine or dry marinade on it where you just season it up and let it sit and let it pull out some moistures. But if you wanted to, heck yeah, you could do it any kind of way you want.
Go any direction.
It would be great with deer meat.
It'd be really good.
I can see backstrap just like that, little backstrap crostinis. Filet, man, you get you the beef tenderloin and cook it like that and slice it thin.
That might be a little overkill.
But that rare to mid-rare beef tenderloin sliced thin like that's really great for a party.
Heck yeah.
It goes on like a meat board.
Usually we serve that just by itself and then like some rolls and some sauce to the side.
But it'd make a great little appetizer too.
So in the community, someone was asking about, they wanted some advice on prime rib. On Christmas Day, they're attempting this their first time. They're gonna smoke an 11-pound prime rib roast, boneless. Is there a general rule of thumb of time per pound? They're shooting for 120 to 125 internal.
I mean, from my experiences, it's probably going to be about 2.5, 3 hours at 250.
For 11 pounds?
Yeah, because that's typical. Like, you see them, they're 15, 16 pounds. If that's with the bone on it, time you cut out that bone, you probably got about 11 pounds of meat. But I would go ahead and use 2 probes if you have it. If you don't, it's no big deal. Just watch your internal temperatures and rotate it. But it doesn't take as long as you think to get it to medium rare because you're just talking about I'd take it to 120, 125 at the most.
That's what they're shooting for. They were just looking for a time so they can plan for their guests. Oh,
I would give myself 4 or 5 hours because it ain't going to hurt it to rest. It'll be fine resting.
I feel like when you say it'll be fine resting.
So if I had to put a prime rib on, if I was serving it at 5 p.m., I would put that thing on at noon. That way I know it's probably going to be done 3:30, but that gives me an hour and a half rest before I know I want to start slicing it. So that's plenty of time, but you need at least 15 to 30 minutes.
I don't think you're getting enough of a rest if you do 15 to 30.
I mean, it's minimum.
Yeah.
Minimum. I wouldn't want to rush it up to time and take it off, but you always got time to cook it.
To me,
start earlier.
The big beef meats like that you're cooking rare, they need at least an hour, 45 minutes to an hour.
We've done one. I did one when we went fishing one time, me and Waylon and some of his buddies that he was working with, and they'd got this prime rib. They said it was a prime rib on sale. And I don't know what cut it was. It didn't look like prime rib. But I put it on, and it was like Waylon forgot to give it to me, and we were leaving that morning to go fishing, and so I didn't get it on the pit till 7 a.m. And it only went till 9 o'clock, and then I had to full it up. And so it was only on the pit 2 hours. It was a big one, too. And I folded up after 2 hours.
What internal did it get to?
I wasn't even watching it. I just knew I had 2 hours to cook, so I put it on 250 and started it, then wrapped it up really good and full and put it down in one of our Island Breeze coolers. And we took it to Arkansas. It was like a 3.5 hour drive where we were. So when we got there, we fired up this I think I took the Pit Barrel Junior with me. And I just put a fire in it and got it low and put that thing back on it in an hour. When I probed it, it was perfect, 125. And I don't know what it was when I first stuck it in, it was below 100 degrees. So it had been setting for almost 3.5 hours, before we got there. And I got it back on, and when I got to 125, it was perfect. And then we let it rest till dinner when I took it off at 125, and I was like, man, these guys were like, what did you do to this? It's awesome. And I said, that's a long process there. You got to drive it 3.5 hours before it's going to be good. But I'm not scared to cook something, put it in wrap it up good, put it in a cooler and transport it. Especially anything under 4 hours is all day. I mean, I don't think you're at a problem at all, especially you get somewhere to warm it up when you get there too, to get it back to where you want it.
Is there any cheaper options out there for prime rib?
Yeah. A lot of times you can find the New York strip, the whole strip roast cheaper than the beef ribeye roast. So that's one route you can go. I don't know if round would be a substitute for ribeye or prime rib, but you can cook it rare and slice it like a beef roast thin,
real thin,
like that. Yeah, but it's a lot tougher than what a ribeye would be.
Somebody else was asking about smoking a duck for Christmas.
I've done them. They're okay. I mean,
a whole duck.
So the big thing with a duck is you got to render that fat underneath the skin. So it's best
Is
to.
there a lot of fat underneath the skin of a duck?
Ducks have a lot of
like
fat
more so
underneath.
than a chicken.
I mean, I think so. I think they got a lot because it's a smaller bird anyway, but then it's got a ton of fat on it. So most of the times now, I don't know about the wild ones don't have as much, but I'm talking about like the kind you can buy at the grocery store or whatever. Yeah. It's just a whole duck. And so what you do is you got to take like a jacquard or something to poke that fat, and then you got to get it smoked, but you want to get it up high enough heat at the end that's going to render some more of that fat. Some people dip it in oil to do it to crisp the skin up. I've never tried that. I just tried raising that temp up, putting it in a hotter place on my pit to get that fat rendered where I want it, and it's pretty good. I wouldn't say it's the best thing I've ever done like that, but it's edible.
It's not your favorite.
I like the breast better out of the bird and doing stuff with them that way. You know, you can reverse sear a duck breast and then sear it in some cast iron and some butter, and it's really, really good. But duck, so you don't have to cook duck near as far as you do, say, commercial chicken. Like, I mean, I like duck on the medium rare side. So
you can eat that one medium rare.
Yeah, you can eat it. Duck.
Even as a whole bird, you would cook it medium rare?
I would probably, I'm not going to take it up to like 165 in the breast for sure. I'm probably going to take it to 130-ish and then get the skin super hot and see if I can get it crispy, get that fat rendered so it's, when I slice it, it's nice and juicy.
Then you get a little crisp on the outside.
Get a little crisp, on the outside. If you got a way to like put it on some kind of a rack and then just ladle some hot oil over it, that'll crisp it up too.
Heck yeah, I bet it would.
It makes it really good. That's kind of how they do it when you see them on these like Asian street food carts where they got ducks out there and they're roasting them. They're doing, they're cooking them low at first and then they're putting them over the hot stuff usually. I've seen some people dip them in boiling water before they start to kind of go ahead and get that fat rendering underneath it. And then they roast it the rest of the way or cook it on, I guess you could cook it on a smoker at that point if you wanted to.
I'd feel more comfortable dipping it in the
getting the hot oil over it at the end.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
So are there any things that you are wanting me to cook this Christmas?
Man, I've got all kinds of holiday favorites that I love. It's probably going to be the cinnamon roll thing for Christmas breakfast and the casserole. I'm always down for the husband's delight. I wait all year to get those. It's been several years I've been waiting though.
I haven't cooked that one in a while.
Do you know what that is, Tyler?
No, I do not.
What do y'all call husband's delight? Or I've heard it called a bunch of different things. Butter and sex cake, yum yum cake, or husband's delight.
That's pretty much that's
pretty standard.
I haven't heard of any of those.
You haven't heard of any of those?
No.
So basically, it's like a pecan butter brown sugar crust that you bake a little bit. You par bake that. Isn't that what it is? I think it's pecans, brown sugar, and butter. You make that into like a batter and press it in the bottom of this dish and cook it a little bit so it gets crunchy. And then it's like cream cheese. It's like a cream cheese layer, like a chocolate pudding layer, and then like a Cool Whip type cream cheesy layer on top with like shaved pieces of either Hershey's or Heath Bar or something like that all over, or Butterfinger. You never had that?
Nope.
Oh,
it's like, it's a layered dish.
Yeah. When you Google it, what is it called?
Chocolate Delight.
It might be called Mississippi Sin Cake too, or something like that. That's another version of it, isn't it?
That one has marshmallows in it.
Oh, does it? I don't like that one.
When I type in husband's delight into Google, all kinds of different casseroles come up.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's not even dessert. It's mostly other type of casserole. But
that's an all-time Christmas favorite.
What about?
It's like something you'd bring to a potluck.
It's good too. Yeah.
Somebody in our family always made it and brought it. That's how I remember it as a kid.
I haven't made any Chex Mix this year.
No, Tyler brought us some. This thing good. Did Ashley make it or did you make it?
Ashley did it. I guess her friend at work passes it out every year, and this year she was like, "I want to try my own." So I don't know everything that went in. I wasn't there when she made it. I know it has like butter, hot sauce, King Craw in it and stuff. There's a picture on the community.
That's what I said. I said they put the King Craw in this. I could taste it. It was good. My favorite little thing is the bugles in it.
Yeah, I love the bugles and the little bagel bite thing.
Yeah, the bagel.
Those
are
hard to find.
Yeah.
Those were the good ones. Those were like the bagel. They weren't the little hard, dark Melba toasted ones.
The rye ones.
Yeah, the rye crisp or whatever.
Yep, they were. That was really, really good.
It was good.
Where'd she find the bagel crisp?
I think she substituted that in for she wanted the rye crisp, but she couldn't find them, or the Walmart shopper couldn't find them, so substituted in the bagel crisp.
It worked.
Heck yeah,
it worked.
Glad y'all liked it.
So usually I make some by now, but I hadn't. I'm gonna make some this week.
You've been on the
IR.
Yeah, you're on the IR. You're getting you out of all kinds of stuff.
Been hanging out with my fantasy team too long.
I hadn't made any homemade sausage balls. I hadn't made any banana bread. Yeah. I do have to make banana bread because that's I give that as gifts. So I got to make that. So
the pralines. Are you gonna make pralines?
I'm gonna have to make at least one batch of homemade pralines for my mother.
Yeah, those are always really good at Christmas.
Yeah, they're kind of difficult. That's really difficult to do one handed. You're gonna have to help me with that one.
That is. That's you got to have two appendages to do that because you got to stir and drop.
Yeah, it's a lot of stirring because your window to get it just right.
I usually do the stirring and you do the dropping, but we might have to. I don't know how we'll do it this year.
I don't know.
You can't even hold the pot to. You might just have to coach. These may be really good pralines this year. What if I make them and they're better than yours?
That would be the story of my life.
Like, this is how you're supposed to do them. Doesn't the weather have to be just right? Like you can't have.
If it's rainy or too much humidity outside, it'll mess it up. Because you got to get it to the perfect candy stage. It's like certain.
Yeah, there's an art to pralining.
Yeah, it's a certain temperature you got to get it to, and.
You know what I do? I'm just gonna throw all this stuff in the pot. Was it brown sugar and vanilla and butter?
Yep.
It's just pretty much like a caramel.
It is. It's kind of a.
And then throw your pecans in, stir them up, turn them out. That's all I'm gonna do. I've seen Phil Robertson doing it on like one of his posts. So if he could do it, surely I can make a praline.
So one thing I wanted to do, you know how you love those little mini quiches?
Yeah, the little appetizer.
Yeah,
that you get like froze at Costco.
Yeah, but they're not as good. I was thinking about what if we tried to homemade.
How do you make quiches? Is it just like you got to buy the little quiche shell, or how do you do that?
Well, they do sell like a mini pie shell.
Yeah,
I was thinking about using that.
I say the little phyllo, the little.
Yeah, you could use those little phyllo
super
shells.
Light ones.
I figured those would be too crunchy for the quiche.
Those would be good with like a crawfish dip or shrimp dip.
Yeah,
but you put a little bit of that in each one.
Ooh, yeah.
Put a piece of shrimp on top of it or something.
Ooh, yeah, that'd be a great appetizer.
Yeah.
Because
easy too.
You could get that assembled beforehand, put it in the fridge, you know.
A good way to do smoked cream cheese and serve it too, because you could smoke your cream cheese and then take a little scoop of it and put it in each little phyllo and top it with a little Rodney's or a glaze, like Heath's New Glaze or something.
Yeah. So we are definitely going to do some smoked cream cheese this year. But on the community, somebody had posted that they did they have a smoked cream cheese holder, and it basically looks like a big spatula that perfectly fits a block of cream cheese on the base part, and you put that in your smoker and you smoke it.
Or you cook it on top of that. Like you unwrap the cream cheese and put it on this little deal.
And it kind of looks like a big spatula where, you know, the handle comes up, but then when you pull it off, the handle part has a little hole that puts a little knife, cheese knife in it. So you just set it out. Just like that.
Serve it right on, because that's the thing. Cream cheese, you can't move it.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll usually do it in a cast iron skillet and just serve it in that, because it's not like you can pick it up really good or slide something under it. It's going to tear it all up.
Exactly. So this you just put on the pit as is, pull it off the pit, and serve it off the
That'd make a good Christmas gift.
It would make a great Christmas gift.
Or a host gift. Like if you got to go to somebody's party.
I want one.
Yeah.
It'd make a good gift for me.
Did you figure out where you could order it from?
No. I just saw it. But it was really cool. So we're definitely going to do cream cheese.
Oh, you'll never. Why serve a cold cream cheese dip with like pepper jelly spread over it when you can throw a little seasoning on it, score it, and put it on the smoker? Smoked cream cheese is a game changer. I don't know why I haven't been doing that like all my life.
Why is it so good?
I bet it's good in the oven. We've never tried just to do it in the oven.
Yeah.
I bet it's good in the oven like that.
You do get a little mild smokiness when you put it on the pit.
But it's not super strong.
Yeah. You're going to miss that in the oven, I guess.
Do you like smoked cheese better, or do you like smoked cream cheese better?
Oh, smoked cream cheese.
I think so too. Smoked cheese is okay, and it makes good gifts too, but
sometimes it can be too smoky.
Yeah.
I'm
with you, but smoked cream cheese is always good.
I bought a cheese advent calendar. for me and Malcolm to try. And like 2 or 3 of the cheeses were a little strong.
They were a little strong, weren't they? I like a good stout cheese, but man, I don't know when they loaded that Advent up or where they loaded it up.
I kind of forgot about it. It's in the back of the fridge now. We did like
I like the chocolate one way better.
The chocolate Advent, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they were really reaching with 24 different kinds of cheeses. Like,
that's and I think it's duplicate cheeses. Yeah.
I haven't been impressed with any of them.
Me either. There's one that I was even like, yeah, you can have the rest of that one.
Did you do Advent calendars as a kid?
Heck no.
I never had one. Did you?
No, we never.
I used to watch it on Christmas Vacation. You
know, when they opened up the little thing.
And I always wanted one.
See, I always thought it was just a decoration. I didn't know that they had little surprises in it.
Yeah. I guess on Christmas Vacation.
First one I ever got was probably like this booze one. It was like all these little bitty shot bottles in an Advent thing they used to sell.
I can get down with that one. That's pretty good.
Yeah, but it had a bunch of weird stuff in it.
Yeah. That's how they get rid of the stuff they don't want.
It wasn't like it was good stuff in it.
I feel like normal Advent calendars are just gifts for like grandparents to buy grandchildren.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's a good gimmick gift. It's like getting a fruitcake.
One year I got.
Y'all eat fruitcake?
My grandmother used to do a fruitcake, but it wasn't a baked fruitcake. It was like a.
What was it?
It was like a sweetened condensed milk mixed with some. I'm not sure all what she put in there.
But was it cake like? Because
you had to keep it in the fridge, and it was in like a loaf, and you just cut a little piece off and ate it.
Yeah,
I forgot what all was in it, but she never baked it. But that was the only fruit cake that I've ever had.
Fruitcake's like horrible banana bread.
Yeah,
but it was like stuff in it, like bad gummies, not good gummies, like bad gummies, big pieces of nuts. Like I don't know what all they put in it, but it is not. And then they would usually put rum or something in it. I mean, I like rum cake, but fruitcake I could not get down with.
I mean, I've never had one. Really, you probably couldn't call hers fruitcake because it wasn't a cake.
We gotta buy a fruitcake
and try it
just to have it.
I don't know if Michael's ever had one.
Like the old one that comes in the tin that you would see at everybody's grandma's house.
Yeah,
and nobody ever ate it.
It was hard and brown.
Yeah.
I saw somebody on TikTok doing kind of a monkey bread, you know.
Yeah, with in the bunt pan thing.
Yeah. But they didn't do the cinnamon and the sugar and everything. It was savory. It was garlic and cheese and pepperonis and
I know
mozzarella.
Exactly what you're talking about. You toss all that. Like I saw them they took biscuits.
Yeah.
Like flaky buttery biscuits and cut them into quarters, and then rolled them in little balls, and then mixed all that stuff up in a bowl. It was like you said, stick or two of butter and fresh garlic and Parmesan cheese and a whole bag of pepperonis chopped up, and then greased a bunt pan, mixed all that up and dumped it in that bunt pan and baked it and turned it out and set a bowl of marinara in the middle of it.
Yes.
It's so easy.
I want to do that. That's going to be one of my recipes.
You can do that for Michael. Michael can do that one.
Okay. You're not into it?
I mean, I'm sure it's good.
He's going to be making them pralines.
Yeah, I'm going to be making them award-winning pralines.
So I saw this other recipe that I'm very interested in. They said it's their family's like best recipe, and they're called Crabbies.
What's a Crabby?
They take an English muffin, open it up, and then they mix up butter, Old English cheese spread, mayo, some seasoning, and then they use crab meat in a can. Have you ever seen crab meat in a can?
This does not sound like it's going somewhere good, Chelle.
And they spread it on the English muffin and baked it.
Why English muffin?
I don't know.
And they're called Crabbies, huh?
And then when they come out, they just cut them into like triangles.
That's a hard pass for me.
What if I called them shrimpies?
Stranded shrimp. Crawdaddies or something?
Yeah. Would you try them then?
I don't know. I mean, I'd try it, but it's got to be something better. Sounds like a hot tuna sandwich or something. Did it have cheese in it too?
Yeah, Old English cheese spread.
Oh no. That and crab meat, Old English cheese and crab meat and blue plate mayonnaise.
I feel like most of that would disintegrate whenever you cooked it, right?
They look.
It would be oily, I bet.
Yeah.
I guess that's what you need the English muffin for.
Maybe so. It stands up to it and can soak up all the oil.
You're not the least bit curious.
No. I mean, especially canned crab. You ever smelled that stuff?
I've never seen.
Man,
I really didn't know they did it until I saw that.
Yeah, it's right next to the canned salmon. To make salmon patties with.
What if I did the salmonies?
No. Sardinis, I guess you could do that. I'm not trying any of that stuff. I would count me out on the processed seafood.
I think Smokey can tap in for Malcom.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I'm not down with that.
What if I use the good crab meat? Still,
the lump blue crab. I'd come closer to trying it like that, but it's just. I'd rather have a crab cake.
Yeah.
If you're gonna go to all that trouble mixing stuff with it, omit the old English cheese, add a little breadcrumb and an egg, fry it in a little butter in a pan, saute it.
They look pretty good to me.
I could see you eating it, honestly.
And then I saw somebody doing how we were talking about spinach dip last week? They actually have a recipe for hot spinach dip. You kind of take that, add a little garlic.
What's the difference in that?
Add some cheese and bake it.
I mean, it's like we do spinach and artichoke dip, right?
Kind of, but there's no artichoke in it. And you use that Knorr seasoning pack and stuff.
Oh, you add that to it, too?
Yeah. It's basically the same recipe with garlic.
You wouldn't use the mayonnaise, would you?
Yeah, they use the mayonnaise and the sour cream. Added cheese and garlic to it.
Yeah, I'd try that. I'm wondering how oily it'll be.
Probably it would be.
I just know if you use that much mayonnaise, it goes. You know what I'm saying?
Speaking of mayonnaise.
And what kind of mayonnaise are they using?
I bet you that they ought to be using Blue Plate. If they want a quality mayonnaise since 1927, they need to choose real mayonnaise. Choose the Blue Plate.
If you're choosing mayonnaise this Christmas holiday season, make sure it's Blue Plate.
By the gallon.
What is your favorite Blue Plate Christmas recipe?
I don't know. Favorite one?
Pimento cheese.
Crack dip.
Crack dip.
Yeah.
What's crack dip?
Man, it's probably one of the best dips on the planet. With like Ruffles potato chips too. You got to have those.
Do you know what it is?
Mayo, sour cream, cheese, bacon, green onion, ranch packet.
That's pretty much
That's all it is.
Little seasoning, little hot sauce.
That's usually, sometimes you can put a little hot sauce in it, but it's pretty much mayonnaise and sour cream with a lot of cheddar, shredded cheese, and a whole pound of crumbled bacon and some green onions and a packet of ranch. Mix it all up and let it sit. Some people put cream cheese in it, but I don't like it with cream cheese.
I use cheddar cheese on mine.
Yeah.
Like top it and add it to it.
But that's an easy dip. Usually I've had some of that since during football season, but we hadn't had none this year. So it's not the big Christmas thing. Christmas crack dip.
It could be Christmas crack dip. I love cheese balls.
Yeah.
Have you ever done the mini versions?
I do like those.
That sounds awesome, though. Like, I remember you talking about it, like, last year, I think, and I wanted to try it, and I just forgot.
They're like little meatballs, but it's all cheese with little stuff on the outside, like bacon or nuts or something.
And you can stick, like, a pretzel in it if you want to.
Do y'all put nuts in your cheese balls?
I'm not a big fan of nuts in my cheese balls.
Mm-hmm.
What do you like to use?
Mine's more like a loaded, like baked potato, like
Yeah.
bacon, green onions, more cheese on the outside, like that kind of thing. Not really a nuts guy either.
Malcom does one that's like a garlic cheese roll.
Yeah, I call them. What is it? Garlic cheese logs.
Yeah.
Where you take
that old English.
You got to use
cheese.
the old English cheese, and you got to use some regular cheese, and then it's butter, and you mix it all up, and you roll them up in parchment paper. Then you kind of spread out some paprika, and then you take it out and kind of roll it in there, and it makes this log. And you let it firm back up, and you can slice it. It's sliceable almost, it's not just like a spread.
And it's really good on crackers.
Really good, yeah.
I'm gonna have to try
garlic cheese logs.
It's
like an old ladies auxiliary thing that I remember as a kid.
But people love it.
Oh yeah, every time I've made it for them. That's something you would get sick on if you eat too much.
Where do you find the old English cheese at?
They have
this time of year. It's out more.
Same aisle as a Velveeta.
Oh, okay.
Right up above it. I want to say, does Kraft make old English cheese?
I think so.
I think sometimes you see it called pub cheese, but it's the same thing. It's like the little cheese that's in the little cracker tray with the little red stick, like the little snack. That's what that cheese reminds me of.
It's shelf stable cheese.
I'm gonna have to try that this year. That sounds.
I'll have to send you the exact recipe for the garlic cheese loaves because I usually make those at Christmas too. When we have company come over.
Have you ever bought the Old English cheese?
I need to go ahead and buy it.
Outside of Christmas?
No. Have you?
No. I like that chip beef cheese.
Oh, I hate that one. I watched a thing on it the other day, and apparently you're supposed to soak that stuff in water and like change the water out, and like then because like when they opened it up, it wasn't all chipped up. It was like, I guess it was called dehydrated beef or something like that, but it looked like slices of salami or something. They put it in a bowl of water and it rehydrated all of it. Then they kind of drained it and then chopped it up. And it doesn't make your cheese ball so salty. Because every time I've had that, there's so much salt in that thing, you can't hardly eat it.
That might be why I like it.
What is it? Like cream cheese and like cut up beef on the outside? You mix it in it?
You mix it in it. Green
what
onions.
Else? Yeah. White and green, if I remember right.
Yeah. I don't have the recipe in front of me, but
it's kind of like the one my mom used to make with the dehydrated beef and stuff.
Yeah,
that one and the tuna ball, you can keep both those.
I'm not into the tuna ball either.
I don't know about that.
Yeah. Tuna, man, my mom likes to make tuna balls. My brother likes it.
Does she make one that has pineapple in it too?
I don't know. I ain't going near a tuna ball. I'll eat a pack of tuna. You know, I eat them for lunch all the time. I like it. I'll eat the old-fashioned tuna fish sandwich here and there, not very often.
In summertime,
But
I like to make.
Summertime's a perfect time to eat
I
tuna
like to
fish
make
sandwich.
a tuna fish salad.
But in no way, shape, form, or fashion should it be a holiday treat. eating a tuna ball. So that's what you serve people you don't like.
What would you rather eat? You have to eat either the Crabby or the tuna ball.
Oh, God. Man, I'm going to try that Crabby just to see. I don't know, though.
The Crabby's hot.
Well, because you also supposed to put liquid smoke in the tuna ball, and that just ruins it for me.
I hate liquid smoke.
Like, I don't know how anybody whoever came up with that recipe, man, bless them.
There's so much going on.
They don't know what they're doing. They had to be on hard times if we get down to the tuna, the liquid smoke, and the cream cheese. It is hard times. You can't make it to a store. You're snowed in somewhere.
You just got to make some
yeah.
holiday Christmas
This is
magic
all we
happen.
Got. I don't even think it was for a party. They must have been starving to have to eat tuna, cream cheese, and liquid smoke.
It's like a 1970s recipe. They did some weird stuff back then. Crab rangoon cheese ball. I saw that one the other day.
I like crab rangoons.
It sounded really good, and then you serve it with the like crispy wonton wrappers.
Yeah, for the chip.
Yeah, for the chip part of it.
Rangoons are good.
What about just a typical like regular cheese ball?
Oh, I'm down with those.
Just no chip beef.
Yeah, I'm down with those. I don't know why you need that dehydrated beef in it that you rehydrate.
I didn't know you're supposed to rehydrate it. I might be doing it wrong. Or you just think cooking it is...
Oh, no. I mean, it's fully cooked or dehydrated, I guess.
No, I'm saying just the act of cooking it is wrong.
Yeah. There's a lot better cheese balls out there than that one.
What's your favorite cheese ball?
I mean, just the old standard. The old yellow cheese ball with some, I like the bacon on the outside and the green onions as opposed to the nuts, but that's the one I like. I'm down with all the cheeses pretty much.
What about Christmas Eve punch?
We never did that. I mean, you'd see it every once in a while, like if you went to a party. Y'all, it was something that y'all would do on Christmas Eve with your family. Mm-hmm. It's always that green sherbety.
I gotta get the green sherbet. I gotta put that on my list.
You better buy it now because that's like the Old English cheese, Tyler. If you don't go ahead and get your sherbet and your Old English canned cheese, you're gonna be out of luck. They only make 150 of them. Once they're gone, they're gone.
What's your favorite drink of the season? When you think of like enjoying Christmas, what are you drinking? Do you like eggnog? You're not a big eggnog.
I don't like. I mean, I'll have a little of it, but it's not my choice. I like the cranberry Sprite with the hot Tito's, a little lime. Mm-hmm. That's kind of my jam. But I mean,
really good.
I've been on a little whiskey and diet Pepsi, Pepsi Zero.
That's not a holiday drink.
It's not a holiday drink. Bloody Mary in the morning, maybe. I don't really have a holiday that my go-to. Like if people are coming over or something like that, I'm probably gonna have a bourbon.
We make punch sometimes.
Margaritas. I like to make homemade margaritas, but not the frozen kind. The kind where you shot of tequila, half a shot of Grand Marnier, a little bit of lime juice, a little bit of simple syrup. That's it.
That's it. Really good.
Splash of Mexican beer.
I like getting cider and adding Jack Fire to it.
No, you're down. I call that your Christmas parade punch.
Especially if it's hot.
You can heat that cider up and put it in like a insulated carrier, like a Getty or a Stanley or something like that, and it keeps that stuff super hot. And then you have your little Jack Fire or your Fireball shot. And you sip it in a coffee cup. It's a really good one.
Have you ever had like real eggnog, like where they make it from?
No, I never have.
And whiskey.
Have you?
It can't be good.
I like, when I buy it, typically I'll buy the bulk custard instead of the eggnog. It's just what we always had at my house.
What's the difference?
I don't know.
I don't either.
I imagine they both have eggs, right? I would guessing the custard has an egg in it.
Surely.
Right? Well,
yeah.
it's like pudding kind of that don't set.
Yeah.
It's super thick. And like when you try to mix it up with whiskey, to me it don't go good.
Well, do you drink
you know what's really
White
good?
Russians?
Oh yeah, I like a White Russian though. I mean, it's been a long time since I had one, but that's kind of Christmassy because
Yeah.
a little bit. I bet you could make that with the what's the vodka that I like, the Pinnacle Whipped. Make a White Russian with that, and it'd be like a snowman drink or something.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, I might have to come up with one of those. Maybe that'd be my holiday drink of the year. The snowman. Abominable.
Are you going to put milk in vodka?
Yeah.
Is that
Kahlua?
Is that what?
It's usually Kahlua, milk, and vodka, or heavy cream and vodka, I guess. That's what's in it. It'd be an easy drink to do.
Seems like whiskey would go better.
It might. Never tried it. Instead of vodka, you mean? I don't know about whiskey and milk.
Yeah.
Does that sound?
Put vodka and milk.
Oh, yeah, vodka milk goes.
Oh, did you see the milk marinated brisket?
No.
It was on the community. Did you see it, Tyler?
I did not.
Somebody.
Oh, wait. I
market
did.
To it.
I did. Dano's made it, right?
Maybe, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
It was a Dano's recipe, and he marinated a whole brisket.
For like how long?
That I don't know.
I don't know the time. I didn't see
Was
the
it
time.
like regular milk or buttermilk?
No, it was like a gallon of Red Top.
Okay.
He put his brisket in like a marinating bucket and poured a gallon of Red Top on top.
Oh, I wonder what it did to it. It looked rough.
Yeah, it looked rough when he pulled it out.
Yeah.
He said it was a little dry, but
Really? Like it took out some moisture? I don't know.
But you never know. It could have been the brisket that
Yeah, yeah.
Would you
That's
milk?
interesting.
Yeah. I mean, you use milk for marinating some things, don't you?
I mean, I've used buttermilk on like game. I've never used it on beef.
Ever?
I don't think so. I can't remember a time I ever put buttermilk like in a steak or something like that.
But the buttermilk is for the enzymes.
Yeah. Your enzymes
right?
breaking it down. I've put like catfish in buttermilk or fried chicken in buttermilk just to try it.
But you don't get that action with just regular milk, do you?
I don't know. I'm sure it's got some kind of enzymes or something to it that'll do something. But I don't know. It don't sound too good. Does it? Might be doing it wrong. I don't know. I think you would have to leave it in there almost like a brine for it to do anything. Like if you just put a whole brisket in milk for a few hours, it ain't gonna have time to do anything.
It's just gonna get it a little milky.
Just gonna get it milky. Yeah.
How long would you leave it if you needed to?
Maybe 2 days or something. 24 hours at least. Start there.
I don't know.
Is veal? I'm trying to think. I've never really cooked much veal, but I can't remember. I don't know if they marinate veal in milk.
Seems like they
to
do.
Get it soft. To me, it would change the texture. You know how veal looks, how it's got that light pink color. It's not like a deep red. I'm wondering if the brisket would do like if you left it in there long enough, if it would do something like that to it. It's really altering the muscles of the meat.
I don't like veal that much.
Yeah, I'm not crazy, but it's a texture thing.
Yeah, it's a texture thing.
I don't see it being all that.
I'd much rather have a ribeye. And I've had it at I had it at Porch and Parlor. I was like,
It ain't the best.
yeah. I wasted my order.
Because it sounded fancy?
Yeah, it sounded fancy. I think it was on special or something.
That just means they were trying to get rid of it.
Yeah.
You got a deal on some out-of-date veal.
So Daryl from the community has a question. He said, on Christmas Eve, I'm going to do a pulled ham and a pulled pork butt. I guess he had a terrible turkey experience on Thanksgiving. Yeah. And he's trying to redeem himself. Anyway, so he wants some advice on how to do pulled ham and a pulled pork butt. He's going to be using a Pit Boss.
Well,
what is pulled ham, and how do you cook pulled ham?
You buy a ham, not a spiral sliced one, and you put some smoke on it on the outside.
Just like a double smoke, like normal.
And then you wrap that dude up. A lot of times people will put it in like a bigger aluminum pan, put some juice and stuff in there with it to break it down, and basically you're braising it till it falls apart.
How long does that take?
It's going to take as long as it does to cook a butt.
Okay.
I mean, you're still looking, 7-8 hours. It's not like it's any faster.
So they could easily cook alongside each other?
Yeah, you could. I'm just worried about, depending on how big his pellet grill is, if you're going to have enough room. Because you got a crowd in it, it's not going to do us right. But
it says a Pit Boss Austin XL.
Yeah, that's probably big enough, I'd imagine, to hold a butt and a ham. But that's what I would do. Yeah. I mean, the butt, I'd probably do the old overnight low and slow butt. But the ham, I don't know if you're going to, you could try that. I've never done it. I've only done one where I've cooked it like 3 or 4 hours, wrapped it up, and then cooked it another 3 or 4 hours till I could take forks and just shred it apart. Because that's the whole thing. You're taking it way longer than you want to for a ham, but it is pretty good. It's kind of shredded ham,
You like it with like collard greens?
Yeah, I like doing it for New Year's, where you're eating your greens and your black-eyed peas with it and all that stuff. It's really, really good. I've never done it just like to serve as barbecue or a sandwich or something like that. It would go good with beans or vegetables or something. But it's good. It's just different. It's a little different.
But
I wouldn't do too much seasoning on it because it's going to be salty. Because ham has got so much sodium to it to turn it into a ham. It's cured, so.
Do you go straight to braising it, or did you say?
No, I usually put some smoke on it first and get some color because it kind of makes a little bark on the outside. And you can find those hams like usually for around $1.19 a pound now. It's just like the shank half ham or the butt portion of a half ham, and you can score it if you want to a little bit, and you don't have to worry about glazing it or anything. You just put it on there, smoke it till you get some nice color on the outside, then wrap it up, and then add some. You could add the apple juice. You could add any kind of moisture you wanted to in there with it. You could add chicken stock, or if you had a pork stock, you could put a little pork stock in there. But you need something to create that steam and to help that ham really cook down and to be really tender. That's what you're trying to do. You're trying to cook it till it falls apart, way beyond slicing.
Do you need to let that rest at all, or is it pretty much once it falls apart, it's ready to go?
Yeah, it's kind of, it ain't going to make that big a difference when you don't rest on it.
So Stephen asks, what's the best way to trim and prep a 5.5 pound picanha? Cut it into steaks or grill it whole?
Man, it just depends on what you want to do, because I like it whole too. I like it whole. I like slicing it and serving it like that. It's almost like like a tri-tip kind of. But I've done it in steaks and cut it up that way too. If you're serving to individual people, you can just give them a whole piece of picanha like that. So if you cut it into the wide strips over the top and cook, but it really depends on what you're going to cook it on. If you're going to do like a reverse sear on it, I'd probably cook it whole. But if you've got a spit that you're kind of doing that Brazilian style, or where they kind of it's rotated over hot coals or something like that, I'd probably cut it up into smaller pieces. If I'm cooking over live fire, it'll just cook faster. But one with a little fat cap on the bottom and kind of done, you can either do it on a pellet grill, bring it up slow, and sear it at the end, or you could sear it first and then keep it slow over, like I did that tri-tip. Both of them work. There's no wrong way to cook it. Just watch your grain when you get ready to cut it up.
And watch that internal temp.
Yeah, and don't overcook it. That's where you'll screw up.
To me, picanha is one of the best cuts. It is
flavor-wise. It's got the best flavor out of anything. I don't know if it's better than a ribeye, but man, the flavor of it is amazing.
And you've cooked it cut up into the steaks and whole, both ways.
Both ways are dynamite.
Didn't you do one that was just like you cooked it like a brisket and took it like pretty far?
I did a tri-tip like
okay,
brisket,
it was a tri-tip.
I didn't do a
brisket.
picanha like that.
Kevin has sent you like I don't know if it was a Wagyu picanha, but it was a Wagyu.
It was a Wagyu picanha.
And
it had the fat cap on the bottom that would just melt in your mouth.
That'll change your life right there.
But remember, I cooked that on a drum, and when you get ready to sear it at the end, you better be ready because that thing's gonna start raining down. When you take the lid off that drum and you let some air to it, and the flames really go, and that fat starts melting, and it puts a beautiful crust on it, but it does it in a split second. It don't take long when it starts going. You'll have a fireball. But man, it smells so good too. It seasons that drum up. It's got all that beef fat cooking down in those coals. It is. It's one of the finer things in life.
Yes. We've been very lucky to eat some of the meat that we've
most of it's came from butcher shop too.
One thing that we have not done that should be on our list is those stuffed smoked shotgun shells.
I just never got into that.
Yeah.
Fad. I just can't imagine that shell
getting
soft enough.
Me too.
I mean, I love a good manicotti or a stuffed shell or something like that, but I want the texture of it to be, a little more al dente. I don't want it to be. And I just imagine stuffing those shells and doing that to them. They're still going to be little squiddy, little chewy, like calamari.
So do you think that you parboil it?
I don't think so. I think they're just loading them hard. Like filling them up right out of the box.
And then just smoking them?
And then just wrapping them and baking them and putting them on pit and cooking them. If you want me to try it, I'll try it.
I want to try to see if the shell gets soft.
Soft or not?
Yeah. Because if you bite into it and it cracks instead of,
I manicotti, stuffed manicotti is like one of my favorite Italian dishes, and I just can't imagine that being anywhere close to really good manicotti.
Italian meals for Christmas.
But we've done that before in our family. Because you're tired, you're ready for something different after Thanksgiving. All the turkeys and dressings and all that stuff, and do something different on Christmas.
We might do that this year.
I'm always down.
Do a good
we go south of the border Christmas too. I like doing that.
Well, as long as you serve the margaritas, we can do that.
I know that's a real good reason to break out the Christmas margaritas. We're not doing traditional. We're going to do kind of a Mexican themed Christmas. It's going to be great. Trust me.
I have this isn't Mexican, it's Italian, but I have a spinach gratin recipe that I use for Italian side dish.
To me, it's
one of the better dishes I do.
For some reason, lasagna. I guess it's because it's like family style and lasagna feeds a lot of people, and it just seems like something you would eat during Christmas when all your relatives are visiting and stuff. So Italian just makes sense to me. And then it's a good excuse to break out all the wine.
Yeah, exactly.
It all has to revolve around a little bit of inebriation to deal with folks. That's the trick.
That's what Christmas is all about.
That's what Christmas is all about.
Staying half lit to deal with your in-laws.
Airing grievances.
Feats of strength.
I think on Festivus you are supposed to have an Italian dish. Wasn't that one of the rules of Festivus?
So Festivus, what is Festivus, Malc?
It's a magical holiday right before Christmas. It's the 23rd of December. It started in New York, I'm pretty sure. Not sure which borough, but that's where it started with Frank Costanza.
It's a Seinfeld thing.
What was he fighting? He was fighting over some toy that year, and he got disgruntled with Christmas, and so he decided he was going to make his own holiday called Festivus. It's Christmas for the rest of us. Festivus. They have feats of strength. They have airing of grievances. They eat some kind of Italian dinner. And they celebrate the Festivus pole. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Instead of having a Christmas tree, they just have a pole in a mount. And I guess you can ornate it if you want to. Or is it just a plain pole?
It's just a pole. Tinsel is distracting.
That's what Frank says. Show my age watching Seinfeld. It still comes on every day. Like, you can go watch it. Probably right now they're running a marathon somewhere.
It's kind of, you realize how old you are when I say make jokes and like Tyler and them don't get it.
Don't have a clue what we're talking about.
And I'm like, Seinfeld? And they're like, what's on? I've seen that on.
My dad talking about MASH. Back when MASH was on. Yeah, I didn't get that. Radar and that other goofy dude. I tried. It was not funny to me.
This is our last podcast, Malcom. Is there anything you're looking forward to? What are you looking forward to the most?
For Christmas or just?
For the next couple weeks. And do not say hunting.
That's what I'm the most looking forward to.
Sitting in a deer stand.
Quality time, just sitting there hanging out with you, Chelle. That's what I'm looking forward to the most. It's going to be fantastic. No, yeah, I'm going to do a lot of hunting. No,
what else? What are you cooking for?
I honestly don't know yet.
Yeah, we haven't really.
I haven't sat down and figured out because we've got to make the next schedule because we got, I guess, 2 weeks that we'll have to sit down and schedule out because so like tomorrow I'm leaving, going out of town. I won't be back till late Sunday probably, and then the next week, it'll be Christmas will be on us.
Yeah, it will be.
We'll have family coming in that weekend, so I'll have to figure out everything I'm going to do. But I know I've got a big brisket in the freezer.
Do you think
so I'm probably going to take it out, thaw it out. And I'll usually do some pork loins. Your mom likes those, and she likes the beef tenderloin, so I usually try to do some stuff like that.
Not so excluding Christmas dinner. What are you cooking like for me?
Whatever you want, baby. I'll cook you whatever you want. All you got to do is say it. Last night I cooked you some delicious pork chops.
You did. How'd you do those?
I just seasoned them up, browned them in a skillet, and took them out and threw them in the oven. Let them come up to temperature. Maybe a little pan sauce, and stopped them about 135, so they'd carry over a little bit. And it's perfectly cooked pork chop.
They were perfectly cooked. They were a little spicy, but I kind of like that.
I hit them with a little prime beef and a little TX. Those are a little steak rub, not TX, just to give them some texture on the outside. And that steak rub's got some pretty good cracked peppers, different kinds of peppercorns in it, so it gives it a little bit of pop of heat. But no, I'll cook you whatever you want. I'll help you make sausage balls.
You're going to have to help me a lot.
You get it easy. I mean, not easy because you got a broke arm, but no, not much is expected now, so you don't have to do all the cooking.
I say we go out to dinner.
There you go. I'm down for that. La siesta it is.
Well, Matt, that's all I have for you today.
Tyler, we ended our contest, right?
Yeah, so we ended our contest, guys. So that's not to say... Sorry, hold on, let me cut this. Sorry. We ended our contest over on the Let's Get to Cooking community page, so that's not to say you guys shouldn't hang out over there. Obviously, this is our last episode of Season 6, but we will be hanging out in the Let's Get to Cooking community during this break, commenting, liking. Not to mention, everybody else is going to be sharing their Christmas recipes over there, so you should be sharing your Christmas recipes over there, too. We'll be doing lots of more giveaways and stuff. Looking forward to it in 2024. So head on over to facebook.com/group/H2Q community if you guys want to be a part of that awesome group of people.
Yeah, you have to get people to post their Christmas grill pics. If you get a new grill for Christmas,
oh yeah,
throw it on the community. Let's see that shiny thing.
I'm hoping I'm gonna have a Blackstone to post on.
Look out!
Oh, is that what you're asking for?
It's what I'm hoping Santa brings.
I'm asking for a little kindling splitter that I can use for my fire pit. All I got's big logs, so I want one of those little kindling splinters. You can put the log in and hit it with the hatchet, and it split it up for you and make me some nice size little splits.
Are you saying that because you know? It's already hit.
I've already asked for it. That's what I'm asking for.
Amazon just shipped the splitter. Didn't put it in a box. Didn't do nothing. They just stuck a label on the splitter.
So I'm getting that.
So it's sitting outside when we came home. I was like, well.
Yay. I didn't see the hatchet, though.
Oh, I thought the hatchet came with the splitter.
I doubt it.
Maybe next year, about.
And a blowtorch. Flamethrower.
Where do you find one of those?
I don't know.
Does Academy have that?
No, Mark Williams has one that we tested out when we were doing the out the smoke stuff. I don't know. Okay. I don't remember where he got that from, but you know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
The flamethrower.
Yes, I do. I do. I thought you were talking about like the Elon Musk.
Oh, that would be cool too. Now.
Not a flamethrower.
The Tesla not a flamethrower. Yeah, that one would be cool too. That's a serious one.
Yeah, that's a.
I'm just talking about one to light a fire pit with or a grill.
That one's the apocalyptic.
Yeah. Run the zombies off your gate. I need to defend the gate. I can use one of those. Or we're going to seed something. I need to burn a nest out. Well, Chelle, it's been a fun 2023. We will be back, the good Lord's willing, in 2024 to crank this day back up. I don't know if you've set a date yet, but it'll be sometime.
TBD.
Yeah. It'll be into January.
I'm sure Tyler's going to come up with the best of edition.
Yep.
Show some of those fantastic recipes. I don't know. Oh, you should have asked me what was my favorite recipe of the year.
What's your favorite recipe of the year, Malcolm?
Man, I think it's going to be those single bone ribs. Who would have thought that? Those were so daggum good.
Did you char grilled?
Yes. They were good.
Really good.
So good. Single bone ribs. Who would have thought that?
I'm trying to think what else you cooked this year.
The brat burger was good too with the mustard glaze.
That brat burger was killer.
Yeah, that was a good one.
It was better than a regular burger.
That goes way back.
Well, now I got to look it up real quick.
I did the Mardi Gras king cake. That was probably the first one back.
You know, that would be a good holiday recipe.
What?
The boudin king cake.
Yeah, but it is a holiday recipe. You do it for Mardi Gras.
Yeah, but like a Christmas holiday recipe.
Can you find king cake this time of year?
I don't think so. You can get Kringles. They come from like up Wisconsin.
Kringles.
It's pretty much a bar.
I thought it was just like layered. It wasn't stuffed.
It's not usually stuffed. I mean, now they have different stuff in them. Like, you ever had a Kringle?
Mm-mm.
They're really good. Really good. It's kind of like a flat king cake with a bunch of different stuff on top of it.
You did burrito tacos. Those were
fantastic.
Those are money.
Yeah. Well, Chelle, those will be in the highlight reels, hopefully.
If you'd like to connect with Malcolm, it's HowToBBQRight on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and of course YouTube. If you'd like to connect with me, it's Miss Southern Chelle on Instagram.
All right. We all have a Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Happy New Year. We're going to roll this 23 year out and come back next year fresh and reloaded. We gone.